Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video of 2023. Goodness me, where did the last 12 months go? The other day I thought I would explore my three Olympus Zuiko lenses that I own currently and try and reacquaint myself with their limits in terms of zoom range. And in the case of the macro lens, it's operating range, if you like. So I went down to the International Garden Festival site, which is on the waterfront in Liverpool, South Liverpool. It was designed and built and opened by Her Majesty the Queen in 1984. And it attracted something like 3.5 million visitors within the 12-month period that it was open. So phenomenally popular, a huge site, most of which from the 1990s onwards lay derelict. And I went down to what is essentially the last area laid out as an Oriental garden. And I decided to... I'm going to give you a little bit of footage that I shot at the time. I decided to take all my equipment down in my Lowepro hold-all, not a gadget bag as I refer to it in the video. That's showing my age, terrible. So I took all my kit down there, with the exception of any legacy lenses or manual focus lenses. My intention was to test the three Zuiko lenses that I own. And what I'm going to do now is to hand you over to my outdoor namesake and let him tell you a little bit more about the challenge. And then I'll come back to you and talk through the images after all that. Well, hello, everyone. And I've come down here today with the intention of doing a challenge. And the challenge is to use my three Olympus Zuiko lenses, but standing within 5 paces of my gadget bag. I've got the 12 to 50, so I want to take an image at 12mm, 24 equivalent on a full frame camera. The 50mm, which will give me a 100mm short telephoto on a full frame camera. And then I have the 40 to 150. So that's going to give me something from an 80mm full frame equivalent up to 300mm. So that's those two zoom lenses. And then I've got the 30mm macro. So I have to do a shot using it as a conventional lens, i.e. 60mm equivalent on a full frame camera, and then a macro shot. And I'm not allowing myself to go more than 5 paces away from where I've put my gadget bag. And I'm hoping that you can see down here behind me my gadget bag, which is on this sort of decked area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 paces away. So I'm doing this just so you've got an idea on the GoPro as to what it's going to look like. And my intention is to put the GoPro on its stand so that you can actually see me using the lenses. That's the idea anyway. So let's crack on and see what we can do. I do actually have to own up to making a huge mistake, in as much as I thought I was filming myself actually taking the images. In actual fact, instead of starting the camera recording, I actually stopped it recording. And because I was too far away from it to take any notice, I didn't see that the tally light wasn't coming on. There you go. Sorry about that. I was talking to the camera when it decided to power down. Anyway, the idea of the challenge was to, in my case, use the 3 lenses that I have from Olympus, the Zuiko lenses, and to take shots from basically one spot in a given location. The idea being to train your eye and train your mind to work within the confines of whatever lenses you are going to shoot with. So we'll get these back to the computer. I'll show you the images straight out of camera, and then once I have tweaked them in post. So I'll see you then. Now, the images that I've got and that you will be seeing, they're not going to win any competitions. That wasn't the intention. My intention was to get a familiarity with what the lenses can do from in the case of the zooms, from their minimum zoom range to their maximum. And with the macro lens, to use it as a conventional lens and then macro. Now, the images that you can see are not really imaginative. That's mainly because, yes, admittedly, I knew the location that I was going to was relatively photogenic. But once I decided to put my hold all down on that decking area and limiting myself to those 5 paces in any direction, you suddenly realize just exactly how limiting that is. If I'd had free rein, as I have done in the past in that location, to go wherever I want, then I could have got some much more imaginative images. That wasn't the intention. For reference, the ISO for every shot was 800, and I deliberately underexposed the first at least couple of shots that you're seeing looking out across the lake, because I wanted to try and hold as much detail in the bright sky area as possible. And I think the EM1's done a pretty good job when I've brought up the shadows, when I've increased the exposure. As I say, not very imaginative. The shot taken with the 40-150 looking across the lake to that sort of monolithic rock, I couldn't get high enough up to separate the rock from what looks to all intents and purposes like an Armco barrier. In the second edit that you've seen, I've cloned that out. And then the macro shot of the leaf on the decking, the first one I took was with the decking vertical, if you like, the grooves in the decking in a vertical format. And then I hope you'll agree that simply by turning the camera 45 degrees, you put those grooves on a diagonal, suddenly it makes a much more interesting composition. But the intention is for anybody wanting to try this, go out to your local park, whatever it might be, take a selection of lenses with you, or whatever lens you own, if it's just the one, and limit yourself to standing within a very small radius and see what you can produce. It probably won't give you any exhibition quality images, but it will give you an understanding and an appreciation of exactly what your lens can deliver. There we are. Until the next time, I hope you're all enjoying your photography, and I'll see you very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.